In the world that we live in today, dozens of companies are trying to sell us on these diet plans that advertise that this is the solution to all your weight problems. But the truth is, there has been a diet that has existed for tens of thousands of years that isn't controlled by a corporation. Hi, my name is Chris. I'm going to be telling you about the Mediterranean diet and how it has been one of the longest running diet plans in the world. So, some history on the diet in Europe and the United States. The Mediterranean diet has been developed over thousands of years in an area called the Mediterranean Basin, which is basically the land that surrounds the Mediterranean Sea. The Mediterranean diet that we know today formed over time when different civilizations began trading goods with one another that they had never seen before. Huge landmarks in history, like when the Americas were discovered by the Europeans, led to the discovery of new foods for the Mediterranean diet like potatoes and tomatoes. While the Mediterranean diet was being widely consumed and developed in Europe, it was never brought over to the United States until 1961, when a scientist named Ancel Keys discovered its health benefits. It all started when he was baffled that a small town in southern Italy was actually healthier than the most wealthy New Yorkers in that time period. That was when the Mediterranean diet's benefits were first discovered, which led to even more scientific studies that supported Keys' findings. Since the Mediterranean diet has been brought over to the United States, there have been numerous studies that have contributed this diet to be linked to lower cholesterol levels, which in turn reduce the chances for heart disease. The diet has also been linked to a reduced chance of developing Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and cancer. In fact, studies have shown that women that are on the Mediterranean diet have a reduced chance of getting breast cancer. Now I'm going to talk to you about what foods make up the Mediterranean diet from the bottom of the food pyramid to the top of the food pyramid. Let's start with grains. Grains are going to be the most consumed food out of the entire pyramid. Now, when I'm talking about grains, I only mean grains that are healthy and pack a lot of nutrients. So unfortunately, your favorite Wonder Classic white bread is out of the diet since it is made out of refined grains that only contain the starchy endosperm of the grain kernel. In comparison to whole grains, they contain all the other parts of the kernel that actually contribute to a healthy diet, like the bran, that's very dense in fiber, and the germ, that is very rich in nutrients like vitamin B and antioxidants, which are fats that protect cells, like vitamin E. Some examples of whole grains include wheat, barley, and oats. While there is no real amount of grains that you should strive to eat, it is important to eat at every meal as it provides a huge boost of energy since that's the main job of grains for your body. Next are fruits, vegetables, and legumes. While grains are lower on the food pyramid, vegetables are the most important aspect of the diet itself. It's very important that around 7 to 10 servings of vegetables or fruits are consumed per day. It's also important to eat a variety of fruits and vegetables to get a wide amount of different vitamins and other nutrients. Some popular vegetables in the Mediterranean diet and in Greece include tomatoes, zucchini, spinach, onions, garlic, and olives. Having a wide variety of vegetables in your diet will guarantee that you aren't missing any key vitamins or minerals in your diet. A lot of what I talked about with vegetables goes the same with fruit in terms of variety. It's actually very common in Greece and in other Mediterranean locations that fruit is eaten as a dessert because unlike other desserts that we commonly eat in America, fruits have natural occurring sugars called fructose, while the sugars in ice cream and cookies are added in process. So you're getting that sugar that your body is craving, but it's a better substitute to added sugars. Legumes and nuts are the last part of this pyramid level. Nuts are great as these on-the-go snacks that you'll need throughout the day. They contain healthy unsaturated fats while also containing a surprisingly high amount of calories so they can give you a great boost of energy in the middle of the day. But since nuts do contain a high number of calories, it's important that you only eat about a handful of nuts so you aren't gaining weight by the end of the month instead of losing. Legumes such as beans are such an importance to any diet around the world because they are the cheapest foods to buy to obtain protein. Olive oil is one of the most commonly known parts of the Mediterranean diet. Olive oil is commonly used as a dressing for vegetables while also being something to dip your bread in. Now, when I say olive oil, it may sound confusing to some people because back in the 1980s, oils were being practically boycotted because that was being blamed for America's obesity problem because of the high amount of fats they contain. Today, we have done more research that shows that there are actually good fats that are healthy for us. These fats are called unsaturated fats. They are commonly found in olive oil as they contain certain fatty acids that can lower your cholesterol, blood clotting, and your blood pressure. The fats that you want to avoid are trans and saturated fats, which contribute to heart disease. It's important that extra virgin and virgin olive oils are purchased, as they are the least processed and they contain the most unsaturated fat. As we are talking about oils, keep in mind that it is very important to avoid butter, as it is very high in saturated fat. It is very tempting to use butter as an additive to food, but olive oil is the substitute that should be used instead. Next, we're going to talk about dairy. As Greek yogurt has become America's next health food, cheese and yogurt are an important part of the Mediterranean diet. Now, they are on the borderline of eating on a daily to weekly basis. So, you should not be consuming as much servings of Chobani Greek yogurt as vegetables. Yogurt, especially Greek yogurt, contains a high amount of protein while also containing plentiful probiotics since there is live good bacteria inside the yogurt. The The only problem with yogurt is that it contains a high amount of saturated fat, which I just said earlier is a bad fat. So when eating yogurt, make sure to consume low-fat or fat-free yogurt. Same thing applies to cheese. Some of those popular cheeses that are eaten in Greece are feta, manuri, and Gruyere. With the Mediterranean diet being a huge part in seaside countries, it's no surprise that fish will play a part on the pyramid. Fish is considered one of the most healthy proteins on this list because it also contains unsaturated fats that are found in olive oil and nuts. The best way to cook fish is grilled because it's pretty easy and it's the healthiest method without using any saturated oils to cook. It is best that fish is eaten only a couple times a week so the vegetables and grains can be properly attributed to the meal. Salmon, tuna, herring, and trout are very healthy choices for fish. We are now getting high enough on the pyramid that the foods we are talking about are foods we shouldn't be eating on a daily basis or at all. Poultry is one of those foods that should not be avoided, but they should not be eaten on a constant basis. While poultry is a good source of protein, they do not provide anything else other than extra calories. Poultry doesn't contain anything really bad like red meat, but it should not be eaten on a daily basis. Sweets like ice cream, cookies, and candy are not as commonly eaten in the Mediterranean as in the US. As I said, fruits are what are frequently consumed at dessert. Because of this trend, sweets are usually eaten in small portions during special occasions like birthdays or holidays. It's just best to avoid sweets that contain high amounts of added sugars and saturated fat. Sweet foods in the Mediterranean such as dates and honey raisins are put into this category because of their high sugar content. The last food that we're going to talk about in the food pyramid is red meat. While it's expected that sweets are at the top of the pyramid, it can be puzzling for people that eat red meat on a daily basis to see red meats above the sweets on the pyramid. Well, the truth is that red meat was actually never popular in areas that use the Mediterranean diet. In fact, red meat was only consumed back in ancient times for holidays, and the meat that they actually usually ate was lamb, not beef. So, meat just never became a regular thing in the Mediterranean. It's actually good that red meat is not a big part of the Mediterranean diet because there have been studies that have linked eating red meat to cancer. So, it's probably best that red meat doesn't become your number one way of obtaining protein. One of the most common beverages in the Mediterranean diet, other than water, is wine. Well, with the drinking age in the United States being 21 or over, that can send a bad message that alcoholic beverages bring no benefit to your body whatsoever. But it turns out that wine is actually a healthy beverage that is widely consumed in Europe in moderation. There have been studies that show that wine can actually help prevent heart disease. But again, drinking wine, like any other alcoholic beverage, has to be in moderation. So here are all the foods that are a big part of the Mediterranean diet and some that you should limit. If you notice on the food pyramid, there's actually one more level that is on the bottom, below grains. This level actually consists of exercise and sleep. The Mediterranean lifestyle consists of lots of exercise and having a healthy amount of sleep each night. So even if you eat the right foods for the rest of your life, your body will never fully adapt to a healthy lifestyle if you aren't getting the right amount of exercise and sleep each day. So in conclusion, today we learned about the Mediterranean diet and all of its benefits that each food group contributes to your body. But remember this, the Mediterranean diet not only is it change what you eat, but it's changing your overall lifestyle. Thanks for watching everybody, and stay healthy.